Well, I've got this Staples cross-cut shredder that I purchased a couple of years ago and spent quite a bit of money on it, like $150 or something, but it does all kinds of good stuff. It'll do CDs and credit cards and the whole works, so that's one of the reasons why I purchased it. And it's worked really well up until a couple of days ago. And I was shredding away, and I had to, I think I put a CD in there, which, like I said, I've shredded many CDs with this thing, and it got stuck about halfway through, which seemed really strange. You normally eats right through the CDs, no problem. So I ran it back the other way and put it in reverse, and the lights dimmed, and the circuit breaker tripped, and that was it. So I was in the dark down here in the basement, unplugged the thing as quick as I could, flipped the circuit breaker back on, and thought, well, we'll try her again. Well, after that, the thing was totally dead, wouldn't do anything. So spent $150 on this stupid thing, and well, I do fix things quite often, so decided to rip it apart and see what was wrong with it. Oh, and by the way, there's my traffic light project. Haven't made much progress on that. Spent all of January sick with the flu, and the first week of February sick with the flu, and I mean sick. So 10 hours of work coming home sick like that. Basically about all I did was sit and stare at the computer and go to bed. But hopefully another week or two I'll get back in on this. And the guy at work actually did finally bring the traffic light in that I can mount this thing in. It's out in the garage, and I'm not going to go get it. It's below zero out there again. 25 below last night. So hopefully I'll get back to that soon. But anyways, on to this. Get this out of the way. Started doing a little bit of looking around, and what I found was right there used to be a relay that was for reversing, and that relay failed, and it failed in a strange way. Let's see if I can focus on that and have you get a look at it. Yeah, it's Chi-Com like everything else, but what happened was, of course, this is a reversing relay. The contacts are normally closed in one direction over on this side, and then when you want to reverse it, the contact pulls over to the, well, normally closed, I can't remember what I said, but anyways, contact pulls over to the normally open side, and that reverses your motor. Well, the problem this thing has is it failed. It's still normal on this half, whether it burned closed or what, but the contact is made on the normally open side still. So basically what this thing did was made a dead short right across that motor, took out my breaker, and all hell broke loose at that point. Well, it didn't really, but it could have. But let me, I'll flip this back over. And basically right now, in its normal state, I should have contact between the common and this normally closed terminal on both sides. And let me show you what I've got here. Okay, I've got the normally closed as I should on that circuit, but on the other circuit here, I do not. I am open on that circuit. Now, if I take this off and go to what should be the normally open, I'm going to set the camera down here for a second. It's too hard to hook this stuff up. Okay, so we're hooking that up. Now that should be the normally open. And obviously we've got continuity there. So what was happening, this thing was literally making a dead short right across that motor, and that's what took the fuse and everything out. Originally when this happened and I started looking at this, I thought, well, maybe this bridge rectifier shorted out, because that does happen. I actually went so far as to pull one out of my stock. I was going to put it in there, but I did some testing and sure enough it was good. And then I found this relay. So what I did, the reversing function is nice and I need to get that back, but until I do get another relay, I just put a couple jumper wires across there. And you can see what was going on here. Right now, the way this is set up, it jumpers cross from here to here. We're coming from the positive side of the bridge rectifier, and then jumping across to there and going to the positive lead to the DC motor that runs this shredder. Well, you can see what happened here. This here was made as it should be, but over here this one was making and that one was making. Well, what does that happen? What happens there? You got a dead short across that, and that's what took out the breaker and the whole works, and caused me to grab the plug and yank it real quick before fire started, which luckily nothing really bad happened. That's why you have circuit breakers and fuses. But anyways, I'm going to plug this in and see if it works. Try not to get myself electrocuted in the process. Okay, so it doesn't look like any metal's touching anything that it shouldn't be touching. So flip it on. I've already got that set to line voltage. So this has two switches in it. The one switch here is for when you're that's the switch that if you take the top off, it won't let it have any power at all. Okay, and this one here is the paper set switch. There we go. It's working. So now I can go back to shredding papers. So I just thought I'd show you that. And if you have something like this happen, check this Chi-Com relay here. I'm going to see if I can't find better quality one, a Tyco or something like that, or one of the better quality, maybe Japanese relays. And that's fairly common form factor. I can't remember what they call that, but it's a common form factor. 24 volt DC relay coil, 5 amp 250 volt. I'm going to see if I can't find one that's maybe rated 10 amp in that same form factor. I don't know if they'll make them or not. I haven't done any research at all on that. But anyways, I just thought that I'd show this. And like I said, hopefully sometime soon here I'll get back to this traffic light thing. Now I'm starting to feel a little bit better. One problem down in this garage, I have heat. I got this nice gas heater that I bought this summer, and it works great, but I mounted here like right in the middle of my garage floor with on an old server rack that my boy had. Mounted a bunch of crap in there, but most of the heat rises up into the house, which is perfect because that means my furnace hardly ever runs, saves me on my electric bill. But the big problem I have is this 80-year-old house, freezing cold air blows through those vents. Oh, by the way, we put that picture down here about 12 years ago. My one kid, there was a big joke that he was keeping the mice away. But anyways, cold air comes through there, and even up through that drain pipe there used to be a shower in here at one time 60 years ago, and even though the air temperature is 64 degrees down here. Every time the wind blows, it blows right up my legs. So, and the shop that I work in was in this 20 degree below zero weather. It was only like 40 degrees all day today, and it has been most of the week. Last thing I want to do is come home and freeze to death even more. So stuff like this is just going to have to go on hold for a little bit until it warms up some. I'm sure in a couple of weeks things will straighten out finally. But anyways, I just thought I'd show this here and babble on about some of this other stuff, and I'll put this back together and get to shredding again. Well, let's see what happens here. Oh yeah. That's more like it. Now I need to take this thing upstairs. It's freezing down here.